Welcome back to my channel Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala. We are doing chapter Atoms and Molecules 9 Cbse. Today we'll be doing part 3 of that. Let's talk about atomic mass. Okay, we have seen that Dalton has given us the concept of atomic theory. Alright, so he has proposed the atomic theory, okay, and which has shown us that element consists of the smallest particle, which is nothing but an atom. Okay. So according to Dalton, each element, okay, had a characteristic atomic mass. This theory could explain the law of constant proportion. You'll see that atom is there and atom has got a mass. So the scientists, what they were prompted to measure the atomic mass of an atom. Okay, since determining the mass of an individual atom is was very difficult task, what they did, they took a relative atomic masses, okay, were determined using the law of chemical combination and compounds formed. See, each element had a characteristic atomic mass. Okay, then let's try to understand the concept. Suppose if I've got a watermelon, right? If I divide this watermelon into 12 equal parts, see, I have divided into 12 equal parts, right? And the 12th part I have taken as the reference mass. Okay. So if I want to measure any of the fruit, right, like apple, oranges, so what I will do, I will take this 12th piece, okay, as the reference mass, and with regard to that I will measure these fruits. Okay, so fruits sold by relative fruit mass unit, right? So the apples will be sold with the relative fruit mass unit of what, 1/12 the mass of watermelon, right? So therefore, you see that in 1961, for a universally accepted atomic mass unit, carbon-12 isotope was chosen as the standard reference for measuring atomic masses. One atomic mass unit is a mass unit equal to exactly 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon-12, like we have given the example of this. The relative atomic masses of all the elements have been found with respect to an atom of carbon-12. So with respect to carbon-12, the relative atomic masses of all other elements have been formed. Therefore, the relative atomic mass of the atom of an element is defined as the average mass of the atom as compared to 1/12 the mass of one carbon atom. Okay, now let's see, how do atoms exist? Do they exist on their own or how they exist? So atoms, you'll see that most of them are not able to exist independently. Independent existence means what? For example, I've got magnesium, right? So you'll see magnesium is individual one. Okay, but in the same case, if I've got oxygen, so oxygen occurs in a molecule form. Atoms forms molecule and ions. These molecules or ions, they aggregate in the large number to form the matter, right? So large number will come together and we'll get matter. Okay, so that we can see, we can feel, and we can touch it. So now let's talk about what is molecule all about, right? A molecule is generally is a group of two or more atoms that are chemically bonded together, right? So they are chemically bonded together. Like what you see here is nitrogen, then we have got hydrogen, we have got chlorine. Okay, so there are attractive forces which exist between them. Okay, a molecule, let's try to define a molecule. A molecule can be defined as the smallest particle of an element or a compound that is capable of independent existence. See this, independent existence, and shows all the properties of the substance. Right? Okay, so atoms of the same elements or of a different elements can join together to form a molecule. So let's see how these molecules of the elements are. The molecules of an element are constituted by the same type of atom, right? Okay, molecules of many elements such as argon and helium is there. You'll see that noble elements. If I take helium, okay, how they exist? They exist on their own as an atom, right? So they are made up of only one atom of that element are there, right? So what we talk about the atomicity of this, right? What is the atomicity will be? Atomicity will be one, right? It is monoatomic. Even the metals, you'll see that metals, the atomicity will be monoatomic, right? Because they individual atoms are there. Okay, but in case of non-metals, you'll see chlorine is there, then oxygen is there, right? In that case, a molecule of oxygen consists of two atoms of oxygen. Therefore, it is known as diatomic molecule. That is O2 what we write. If three atoms of oxygen unit, okay, come together to form a molecule, right? In case of ozone, what we see, right? O3 ozone, what we see, in that case, it is triatomic in nature. Okay, so metals and some other elements, such as carbon, do not have a simple structure but consist of a very large indefinite number of atoms bonded together. So we can say that a number of atoms in a molecule is known as its atomicity. Very important concept. So atomicity is nothing but the number of atoms in a molecule is known as its atomicity. Now let's try to understand, okay, atomicity of elements. Noble elements, for example, we have taken argon. Atomicity is monoatomic. We have say taken helium also. That time it was also was monoatomic. Non-metals, oxygen, diatomic in nature. Okay, phosphorus you will see is tetraatomic. It is what P4. Okay, so phosphorus is P4. So that's the reason it is tetraatomic, and we can call it as polyatomic in nature. Right. So let's try to understand molecules of a compound. Okay, molecules of a compound. Okay, what is a molecule of a compound? For example, I will take a water, right? Okay, so water, it is made up of what? Of two elements. One is hydrogen and one is oxygen, right? Okay, so atoms of different elements join together in a definite proportion to form molecules of a compound. Right, the proportion are fixed. Okay, that's the reason we get a molecule of a compound. Now, molecule of some compounds, let us try to understand with the example of water. Okay, so combining elements are what? Two. One is hydrogen and another is oxygen. And we have already seen the ratio is what? Is 1 to 8 is the ratio. Okay, now let us try to take out the simple ratio as such. Okay, what we have done here, hydrogen ratio by mass, we know that it is 1, oxygen it is 8. Atomic mass of hydrogen is 1 and that of oxygen is 16. Right? Okay, so the mass ratio, what we have done, we have divided it by this. Okay, so 1 by 1 we get 1 here, it by 16 we get half as such. Right. Okay. So the simple ratio which comes upon is 2 to 1. So that's the reason you say simple ratios here. 2 to 1. Okay. 2 to 1 is a simple ratio. So the ratio by number of atoms for water is 2 to 1 is the ratio which is coming in. I hope you have understood the concepts of molecules, the atomic mass as such. If you understood it, so kindly like and subscribe my channel Kishore Sarki Pathshala. We will be meeting in the next section to discuss about ions.